Hi, everybody. I'd like to present Luis Molina and Janette Hernandez. Luis graduated with his business degree from Whittier College and graduated from here with his MBA. He is the advising manager of the Office of Graduate Studies at Cal State Fullerton, and he focuses on advising underrepresented graduate students. So he's here to help you guys prepare for graduate school and transition. And he's accompanied by Janette.
Yes.
Janette or Janette?
Janette. So there's been a couple of changes with the SOAR grant. I'm currently the project manager now for the SOAR grant. Janette actually does the advising now as the advising coordinator. So Janette advises prospective students that are looking into grad school, right? Answers a lot of questions, shows them how to apply, even assists them with a new wacky application called Cal State Apply, right? No longer CSU Mentor. That seems like in the butt, right? So she's there, she can actually help them fill it out, because once you know what you can skip, it's pretty damn easy, right? So that's what Janette focuses on. Also continuing students, for those that are going to come or go here, right? Your programs, find yourself with some questions or maybe in a difficult situation, you can always come to the Office of Grad Studies, is where we're stationed at, and ask for some advice, hopefully get your questions answered, right? Even if it's for financial aid, we usually, I like to pride ourselves as the kind of the hub. So even if we don't know the answer to your question, we can refer you to someone, right? Sometimes it's a little harder for you to get an answer if you just go by yourself and you're asking someone, or you have to set up an appointment or something like that, right? So sometimes you can come to us, we can make that connection, and hopefully get your question answered a little bit faster, right? So should we start?
We're going to hand out the sign-in sheet, so you can please fill out.
Yeah. So as we mentioned, we're into the SOAR grant. SOAR grant is a Title V federal government grant. And what that means is that we have to prove everything that we do, basically, right? So that's why the sign-in sheet, we have to prove that we're actually doing what we said we're going to do. And we'll go into the grant a little bit further in the presentation. So that sign-in sheet, if you could please help us out with that, that'd be great. First off, did all of you do your undergrad here? Yeah, CSU, but not all of you are continuing grad school here, correct? So who's going elsewhere? Or actually, let's go around the room. And let me know the program that you've been accepted to, or you're going to attend in fall, and where. Okay, start with you.
Well, my name is Janette, and I'm doing the MS in counseling here at Cal State Fullerton.
Cool.
My name is Josie. I'm doing a master's in public health at Cal State Fullerton. My name is Gabby, and I'm doing the master's in social work here at Michelle. I'm doing a master's in social work here too. My name is Angela, and we do the master's in counseling here.
My name is Dana, and I'll do the master's in social work here.
My name is Amy, and I'll be doing the master's in public health.
I'm Janet, and I'll be doing the master's in social work here.
My name is Patricia Parks, and I'll be doing the master's in social work as well.
My name is Jessie. I'll be doing the master's in social work here.
I'm Nancy, and I'm doing the master's in counseling here.
My name is Marina. I'm doing the master's program at Homewood University for concept and disorders.
I'm Ahmed. I'll be doing my master's in public health at Long Beach.
Cool, very cool. Thank you. So some of your names I kind of recognize. So I've either probably emailed you or Janette has emailed you, right? Some info, maybe LFR scholars, stuff like that. So we'll go into that a little bit further for those that are like, what the hell is he talking about? All right, so let's get started. The resources, obviously, that we're going to present and talk about are through the Office of Grad Studies here, and our services that are for the students that are going to go here eventually. And unfortunately, right, it might seem like, well, this is programs or services that are at CSUF. So how's this going to help me? It's still beneficial to learn about the services that are out there for grad students, right? Because they are limited just because the population of grad students is kind of smaller than undergrad. It seems like everywhere you go, everything's focused on undergrad, right? But there are services. So this will give you an idea of what to look for when you arrive at the campus that you're going to attend for your grad program, right? For their Office of Grad Studies, look for see if they have a federal grant, right? That's focusing on services for grad students. Try to see if there's an advising manager, coordinator, graduate advisor, someone that you can connect with, right? So that would be your focus. So the Office of Grad Studies here is stationed in McCarthy Hall, room 112. McCarthy Hall is, you can find it just by looking for the oldest building on campus, right? The one that's breaking down over there by the quad. We're also, the SOAR team is actually stationed in 128. MH 128, just across the hall. The hours are there. As you can see, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they're open late, just to accommodate anybody that maybe works. Right? The website is great. We have everything on there. It's fullerton.edu/graduate, and I mean everything. So everything that we're going to be talking about is on there somewhere. The only drawback about that is that it might be hard to follow sometimes, right? It might be a lot coming at you. So if you have any questions or if you're a little bit confused after reading something, just shoot us an email. I'm more than happy to answer. So these are the services that we offer. Kind of an overview, right? So we really try to communicate regularly with our grad students, even if it's not in person. So we try to come at you guys from different angles. So we have a handbook. It's pretty nice. It's like a book almost. That handbook has everything from like centers, from like academic policies, grad checks, everything you need.
It can be found online.
Yeah, and it can be found online as well. So that's on our website. If you want a physical nice copy, just visit us in our office. We have a few there. So that, in my opinion, is probably all that you need as a grad student in one document. But again, it might seem overwhelming at first, or you might have some questions, so just let us know. Social media, we have a bunch of Facebook pages for OGS, for SOAR, for the grad center that we're going to talk about in a little bit. So if you guys want to do yourselves a favor, if you actually use Facebook, I know that's getting kind of obsolete nowadays, but because it's a brand and we track it, we need, Facebook was kind of the easy way to, the easiest platform to track activity on. So if you go and I think you have to follow those pages. We send out like, here's a website for internships. Here is when orientation is going to happen. Here is the deadline for grad checks. So like I said, from different angles, we're always trying to communicate with you guys. Emails, we also send out periodically. So if you see an email from the grad office, you should probably open it. Even if you're not going to read it thoroughly, just glance at it. If it applies to you, then obviously read it, right? Because again, that has deadlines, funding opportunities, maybe GA opportunities, right? Grad assistantships. So be very mindful of your student email. I think not enough students are mindful of their student emails because sometimes we have good opportunities. I send them over, they reply very late, and it's past the deadline or something like that, right? So be mindful of your student email. Funding opportunities, we won't go into very much. We do have some.
Newsletter?
Oh, sorry, skip over the newsletter. Okay, the newsletter, that also comes through your email, student email. In the past, it was done quarterly. Then we changed to, was it once a month? And then bi-monthly, getting crazy. Now, I think it's gonna switch to once a month. So if you guys are interested in that, keep an eye out for that. And again, it's just another method of us telling you guys the same thing, right? So it'll have deadlines, it'll have funding resources, it'll have opportunities, and then every now and then we'll spotlight like a faculty or a grad student you're asking to. Okay. Funding, we do have funding, but we are also going to see you guys later on in August. That's what we'll cover a lot of it. So we won't go through that today. The faculty grad student mentoring program, we'll talk about a little bit more in detail in this presentation, but it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. All right. We have tutoring for grad students in the Graduate Student Success Center. So just like all the colleges and undergrad have success centers, we have one Graduate Success Center. Unfortunately, there's not one for every major, right, every program, but there's one for all of the grad student population. It's pretty nice. Again, we'll talk about that further, or Janette, I think we'll talk about that further in detail. Like I said, we are funded through a federal grant project called SOAR. Don't ask me what that stands for. The Strengthening Opportunities and Access and Resources for Latino students and other underrepresented students as well. So that's why Janette is very active in reaching out to students, right, that meet our target population and letting them know that, hey, we're here to help you. Let us know if you have any questions. But by saying that, we're inclusive. We don't exclude our services to anybody. We just have a target population because it's a federal grant. That federal grant has a purpose, right? So that's why we have workshops. We have a flyer with workshops for the fall. There's a good amount of workshops. Yeah, we do? Yeah. Okay, it's just different topics, and it might be beneficial for you guys. Look at which ones kind of interest you, mark them on your calendar, and we'll talk about that a little bit further. The mentoring program that I mentioned. So, at the Office of Grad Studies, this was left over, this was institutionalized from another federal grant that we had quite a couple of years ago. 5 years ago. So it turned out to be a big success. So that's what these grant programs are for, right? They give you money, you get hire staff, you try some programs, you see what works, and if it works, you ask the school, hey, take it over with state funds now, right? Because it's working, it's something that's needed. So this was a big success. Actually, I think Janette and I were part of this when we were in our grad programs. We play basically matchmaker. Right, so you guys fill out an application, and then we match you with a faculty. It might be from the same discipline, or you can actually probably request that it's from the same discipline, but usually, often we don't, because we want this person to kind of advise you, mentor you from a different angle, go further than academic, because you guys all will have a grad advisor for your program that you're meeting with your study plan, making sure you're taking the right courses, right? If you ever find or have any issues in your classes, you can meet with them. This person here, ideally, we would want to cover the other aspect, right, of daily life. Maybe it's just someone that you went to. Maybe you talk about your family with him or her, if you guys connect on that level, right? So kind of a holistic approach. So we're adding another layer, mentoring or advising. So you fill that out, we match you guys up.
Should we pass out bags?
Yeah. So we have some bags that we're gonna give you guys, and it has flyers, it has this application here if you guys are interested in joining this mentoring program. Obviously, for those that are coming here, sorry for those that are not. Again, I would just say be very proactive in looking for these services at the school that you're gonna attend. So you guys get a nice little bag with all these flyers. It's just in there as well. You can just turn that into our office whenever you guys are done. Fax it, email it to me or Janette. That works as well.
Yeah, there's not really a deadline. You can turn it in whenever you want. So, yeah.
Yeah, the earlier the better, just because the mentors kind of get assigned to students. So eventually we might run out or something. There's a shortage of mentors. But yeah, you fill it out. Some questions there that are going to help us match you with someone who we think is a good fit. If it turns out to not be a good fit, then you just let us know, and we can hopefully switch you to another.
And it's really up to the student how much contact they want with their mentor. You can choose to email them once a month if that's what you do, or once every semester. But of course, we encourage you to make that contact more usual if you want the benefits of that relationship with your mentor. But it really is up to you guys.
Yeah. The only thing we do at the end is we have a mixer. It's kind of culminate the program. At the end of the year, we have a mixer, we have drinks, food, good food, a nice venue usually, and you guys come together. All of you guys, all the mentees, all the mentors come together, and then just kind of kind of a social hour type of thing. That's the only thing we do. Everything else, like Janette said, is kind of up to you guys. The frequency that you guys meet or talk, or even the mode, right? Email, phone, or in person. So the SOAR grant, like I mentioned, these are the main areas for this grant that we have. So the Graduate Student Success Center, Janette's going to go very in detail about that. The Elevar Scholarship Program is a scholarship program that we had. This year will be the last cohort, but usually, historically, it would fund 50 students. So it's not like it's funding 1 or 2 students, right? It was 50 students. It focused on first generation, right, underrepresented populations. We really didn't look at GPA for the most part because there's a lot of scholarships out there that are based on merit. So this was not one of them, right? This is more based on the student's story, based on a letter of recommendation that's required. So we really look at that letter of rec in detail to see if that recommender was familiar with the student. Did he talk about the same issues that the student talked about in their personal statement type of thing? So like I mentioned, this year's the last cohort under the grant, but it will continue. And I believe 90% sure that it will keep the same name, the Elevar Scholarship Program. So we'll talk about that next time we see you guys. More detail about what that's going to look like now that the grant is ending. That grant is ending in September 2019. So the next scholarship cohort will be kind of Office of Grad Studies, and it's going to change a little bit, but we'll go into detail next time. Advising, like I said, Janette advises a lot of students that are, prospective students just looking into, asking questions about the programs, or even if their application process, or maybe not after they applied, right? They still don't know why their application hasn't been submitted or processed. And then the Soaring Graduate Student Association, so it's a student group for grad students. Yeah, and it's basically the only one.
It is.
Yeah, every other student group is undergrad focused, right? But I think here, okay, so I'll cover this and then Janette takes over. She's nagging at me already. Talking too much. Let's see. The center is located in the 3rd floor of the library. It used to be really a funky route to get there, but now since the 1st floor is finally done after 10 years, right? It's finally done now. You guys can easily just go on that south side, go up to the 3rd floor, and it's there. The hours are, if you can see, like we open almost all the time, basically. Because the point of that is to kind of, we're hoping that you guys could, it's kind of like a second home, right? Because if you guys are working, you're tired, maybe commute from Orange County to LA, because I do that and stuff, right? Maybe you stop here, do some homework, wait for the traffic to die down, then go home, right? So that's why it's open for those hours. And what was I going to say?
It's usually during the fall and spring semester. Summer changes.
Summer changes, yeah.
But that's why students are here during the summer.
So there's the contact info and the email, and then Janette's going to speak.
And he didn't give me that many slides. He's talking anyway. All right, so I'll tell you a little bit more about the GSFC. So like you said, this is the Grad Student Success Center. It was actually built not too long ago. It was built, spring 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah. So before that, there was no center for grad students. But one of the great things is that under the SOAR grant, we were able to build this center specifically for grad students. And sometimes undergrads try to sneak their way in because it's a really awesome place, but we really want to keep it just for grad students because, like Lisa's saying, this school is mainly undergrads, right? You were an undergrad. So we really wanted to create a space for grad students to just network with other grad students. And again, it's every discipline. So we actually get a lot of social work students in there, a lot of counseling students, but it's students from engineering, students from the sciences, students from humanities. So it's a really great place to network. It is our hub of different resources. So When you walk in there, you'll see along the walls, there's flyers on like GA strips if you're looking for a job on campus to be a grad assistant, teaching assistant, sometimes those are posted on there too. You'll find our contact information, how to get more access for Office of Grad Studies or the SOAR grant. We have just kind of everything along there. I'll tell a little bit more, but one of the things is it also houses our graduate learning specialist, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that next slide. But what's at the center, other than the resources, is there's study space. That's primarily a study space. So there's couches, there's desks, there's tables, there's computers. There's stuff there's like a fridge. So if you want to like drop off your food and just keep it cool during the day, you can drop it off there. There's a coffee pot. There's a microwave. We have the food pantry, which is one of I think that still doesn't exist, right?
Yeah. It was started because research seems to show that a lot of grad students were actually food insecure. So it was started by the club, the one I just mentioned. Yeah, it was started by them, and they just take donations here and there. Sometimes they'll have activities for fundraisers, like they were doing a lot of those. When you gather up as many people, or a certain number of people and go to shows, so you're over there like an audience belonging or something, and then they would give money to that, and then so they put in orders for certain snacks that we kind of have to limit, to kind of so they could last the whole semester, and then usually offices around campus some of them are aware, so whenever they have events and there's kind of food left over, they send it over there. Sometimes it's good food, sometimes it's not. But regardless, we put it out there, and it's free for anyone involved.
Yeah, so you'll find a variety of different stuff there. So sometimes, like I said, we'll get different organizations. Like we had this pizza party, and we had a lot left over. Here's some pizzas, and then grad students can go get some pizza there. But then, the food pantry will try to make sure there's other stuff available, like oatmeal, just things that you can kind of on-the-go foods that you can have while you're there to make sure that, we're providing that resource for you guys.
Coffee, try to stay stocked on coffee.
Yeah, we definitely try to keep stock with the coffee and the water. So that's one of the, we do a survey at the end of every semester for students to kind of tell us what they think of the grad center. That's usually one of the top things that they list as their favorite things, and whether there's food available there for them, or that's an option at least for them, that they can use the microwave, the fridge, and the coffee pot. Like I said, there's computers there, there's whiteboards, there's charging stations, you can charge your stuff while you're there. Again, we're open all day, so we know some students can be there for hours studying, and so we want to make sure that they have everything they need to be able to study throughout the day.
Yeah,
So,
and last year's cohort, there's also a lot of social work and counseling.
There really is, yeah.
And it was really cool because I saw them use it a lot during the semester. I remember faces pretty well, so they would always say hi, and I would say hi. It was just nice because we do go present to a lot of different programs, a lot of different people, and you never know if you're actually making an impact, right? But seeing them at the center was really cool and really self-rewarding for me. So I hope to see them during the semester and other conferences. So
Our helping programs like counseling and social work tend to be the most popular at the center. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we just advertise the best to them, but they seem to come. They do a lot of I believe group assignments. They tend to come in groups. It is primarily a quiet study center, but we do, of course, if you're coming in with your group, as long as you keep your voice kind of low, it's still a place for you to kind of communicate with others. There, we also, like I said, have the graduate learning specialist. They're there for the tutoring, whether it's writing or stats. We have our workshops also housed in the Student Success Center. So every now and then you might hear an announcement like, hey, we're going to have a workshop here from 2 to 3, so just heads up. We also send emails to you guys to remind you about that. And we'll actually give you guys a flyer today with our list of workshops that we have throughout this semester. And graduate advising, so if you wanted to meet with me, I could also make myself available at the Grad Student Success Center, but we're typically housed in the McCarthy Hall.
yeah, we have another advisor, Maria Salazar, who will be at the center. She's part-time, so she won't be there all the time. But she's usually the one that's going to be stationed at the center, and these guys are there, and might, a question might come up or something. If she can't answer, she can easily just contact one of us.
All right, so the graduate learning specialist. So this is actually like an OGS, so it's a grad studies thing, but it's housed at the center. So we proudly house them. All right, they're really great. I've actually used the learning specialist back when I was a grad student here. I don't know if you ever did it, but
I was dumb.
yeah. Again, this is pretty new. So the center itself is pretty new. So a lot of us had already graduated or were about to graduate when the center was actually built. So before that, we had nothing. We had no place to like meet and network with other students. So with the graduate learning specialist, we have different writing tutors, they're primarily writing tutors, but they can help with about anything, whether it's a class assignment, whether it's a project, whether it's a thesis, whether it's you're applying for a job or you need a personal statement for your PhD program or whatever it is. You can meet with them. They do 1 hour appointments. There's also a stats guy. So we have someone if your program requires you to do a project or a thesis and requires stats, you need to do statistics, he can help you out. So yeah, they're 1 hour appointments. You can do once a week, hour appointments. We also do walk-ins. So if you're already at the GSC and you're like, okay, I really need help on this assignment, you can go to our staff who's there. So we have a grad assistant who's at the center. You can tell them like, I want to do a walk-in with one of the GLS specialists, and they can see if they can fit you into their schedule. But of course, it's better if you make an appointment with them because at least you have a set time. Sometimes if you're a walk-in, you might have to wait a while until there's a spot available for you to meet with them. They can actually do appointments off campus. So they can also do phone appointments. So if you are coming from far away, you can email and make an appointment for kind of a distance assistance, and they can do a phone session with you. You just have to email them like what your assignment is, and you guys can do it together over the phone. But yeah, online is your best bet. So we do, if you go to the Office of Grad Studies website, there's a link right there just to sign up for one of the graduate learning specialists.
Yeah, there's a tab right now. The website's going to change, but as of now, there's a tab, GSSC on the top. You go there, and then you go down to academic tutoring or GLS. If you one of those, you click on there, and that's a big thing. That's a book appointment. You guys have a flyer on there that kind of helps a little bit.
So graduate workshops, so we'll pass out that as well.
Yeah.
So the graduate workshops, so Luis is going to be handing some of those out. So those are it's actually increased throughout the years that SOAR has been funded. Before we would not have that many workshops through the semesters. Now we try to aim for at least 20 workshops a semester, and these vary on topics. So some topics could be, like our first one is time management, very important as a grad student. Of course, you got to juggle a bunch of things, whether it's work, family, school, social life. So we do time management workshops. We do for those looking for interviewing skills, or want to freshen those up a little bit, we have those. If you're writing the thesis for your program, we have workshops on your thesis. We have the EWP for the English Writing Proficiency Exam. We have library resource workshops. We have managing your money workshops. And then we have like things related to mental health. So we have a series throughout the semester. So it could be ranging on coping as being a grad student. It could be on like imposter syndrome as a grad student. So there's definitely a lot of workshops that we present. So I think the list of workshops right now is tentative for some of them.
It's just the highlighted one.
The one?
That's why it's highlighted there manually. That one, if you guys want to make a note, because this is just usually when this is finalized in full, it's printed on a little bit nicer paper. But I just wanted to give you guys an example of what the workshop schedule looks like. It's just a highlighted one. That one's going to be, it seems like it's from 7 to 8 p.m. instead of what it shows there. Because of the presenter.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, softly. So again, once we just confirm 100%, that's the only thing that's kind of up in the air. We'll print it out in nicer paper, and it'll be uploaded onto the website. There's space on there on the website for the schedule as well. So like I said, the website is kind of like a one-stop shop for everything.
And it will be posted at the Grad Center too.
Yeah,
so while you're there, you can take a look
get
at
an email. We post it on our Facebook.
Yeah, we'll spam you. You'll get a lot of stuff from us too.
Just don't spam.
Well, I'll send you when the workshops are. So again, we'll finish off with the Soaring Graduate Student Association. So this is the one club for graduate students that was developed while SOAR was having a grant. They do look to me with like-minded individuals, of course. They focus a lot on what resources are available. They focus on networking. So they have their contact information provided here. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, on the LinkedIn, or just through the clubs on campus through the title link. But yeah, they have social events. They're the ones who came up with the food pantry. So I don't know if they might or they might not still be doing events to help fund money for the food pantry. But yeah, if you're looking to network with other students and want a club, this would be your place to also contact. I know we're out of time, but you guys have any questions for us?
About a minute. If we want to continue your schedule, we have a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then Janette has your card, so she'll pass those out, so you don't have to ask any questions now. So like, you don't have any, maybe it's a lot of information, you just have to process it. But you can always shoot an email or stop by. It's not like yes,
Yeah, question right here.
and then
I just had a question if the graduate and learning specialist were like the same ones throughout the year.
you can't
Yeah.
Can't even want to answer that. They're employed by us part-time, so it usually, yeah, but sometimes they leave for other opportunities. So that's the one thing that's different from the undergrad tutoring to now our kind of tutoring is these people are, they either teach part-time at a JC, so they actually have a master's degree or a PhD. It's not like peer-to-peer like it is in undergrad for the most part. So these individuals sometimes will, like one of the best, I think, in my mind, he was one of the best ones we had. He's leaving that semester because he's got a lot more classes to teach at now. So we're going to be losing him. But then if spring semester isn't the same for him, they'll give him the same amount of classes. He might come back. So that's how it usually is. That might work.
We definitely like to keep them consistent. We do know some students who stay with the same graduate learning specialist for as long as they can. So we try our best to keep them consistent.
Yeah, but we can't just say, no, you can't go somewhere else. And then the other hand.
Yeah, for the friendship program, is that the same one that the Levar Scholars?
Yeah, it's the same one. So the scholarship, Elevar that I mentioned has a portion where those students, that cohort will be automatically entered into that mentoring program. So it is the same one. No, if you were one of the recipients, you're gonna get one anyway.
There was an evaluation form passed out. So yeah, because we are funded grants, we gotta show.
It's super quick.
Yeah,
It
shouldn't take too long.
looks long, but it's like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to prove that we're actually out here doing what we said we would, basically.
Yes.
Oh,
Which ones?
the evaluations?
Yeah.
Is there any additional questions for Louis and Janette? No.
Yes.
For the scholarship, is it only, can you apply, like for example, us coming in, or can we do it our second year?
You can do your second year, and that was a nice thing about Elevar. Actually, 2 of the scholarships that are now going to turn into 1, so sneak peek before next time you see it. Yeah, they both were allowing prospective students to apply, so even if you weren't admitted yet, if you applied, your application was chosen by the committee, then it was just dependent on whether you get accepted and you can receive it. So yeah, but you can apply it your second year as well. And then we have other scholarships that are, we have 2 more that for those programs that, you know, maybe some programs are 3 years. Counseling, right? Counseling, no? Yeah. So we have some programs that, and if you're looking into, after your first year or second year, now you're interested in going PhD, right? We have some scholarships for that. Yeah. So right now, I don't expect them to know, right? You guys are barely incoming. But later on, you might change your mind, right? You might love school so much that you want 4 more years of that. But that's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Again, if you guys have any more questions, stop by, send her an email.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. So I hope this has been beneficial. I can go around and just collect